real quick, I set up a team for me and you, it's called Personnel Committee. Under that team, we have shared documents. These documents are in there. Those are the documents that we can edit. Also, I put channel lists, for lists we can assign to.
Pardon?
Which sometimes I do things to make sure I do.
Entitlement score.
Maybe
Thank
explain
you.
that again after I look at it.
In 2 weeks then, so by October?
I have a meeting with them Monday to confirm, but yeah, they said the first half of September, so.
Okay,
As soon as school starts, basically.
I guess we're already on. My mic.
Yes, Alan just turned them all on because he's running the sound equipment.
Got it.
Is it being recorded? I don't know. The spiders have been very ambitious this year. So,
I have an extra pen in case you need one, Ryan.
I will.
I know that. Be in your seat.
I thought I left mine.
When did the city make shirts?
What's that?
When did the city make shirts?
Since my wife made them.
Nice.
he has so much fun with the merch here. Does it have anything on the back?
It's just, says Birchwood Village.
Yeah, he's like on the.
You need an I
a number.
with Pedro or something.
So it'd be funny if I was at the council meeting with the Birchwood Village shirt.
You're advertising before they're available?
I read the adorable article in the White Bear Press.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
They've been hanging out here a little bit.
I know, they were at the Music in the Park as well.
Oh, the one on Sunday?
Hi, Ryan.
All right.
Watch your step. Oh, I had some residents ask if when Music in the Park is canceled due to weather, they thinking that it might eventually just bring it to City Hall instead if it's too hot or something. That's what I was thinking too, but we had quite a few cancel. Was it the artists who canceled?
Yeah, I think we've had 2 or 3.
Did they still get paid if they cancel?
I
They're
don't know.
rescheduled.
Oh. Like in September or what?
Rocktober.
Yes, we're going 2 weeks past Labor Day this year.
Ah,
I wish they would bring it back to Birch Beach. It's all bad on the flight. I could sit on my deck.
but I can sit on my deck.
That's true.
Should just mosey on down, it's kind of
Maybe I'll
fun.
come sit on your deck.
There you go.
Have we started the big audit process?
August 17th.
Great.
Yep, they'll be in this Friday.
Okay.
How long do they anticipate that taking?
2.5 years.
Wouldn't
I
surprise
have
me.
no idea. Hello. It's Orange Day today. My watch must be slow. Okay, 1 minute warning, y'all.
Okay.
Unprepared. Is this being recorded, Alan?
It's, I got this nominally going, and then we remote desked in Chris, And so it's set to automatically start recording and streaming us. So I just turned on the mic just a few minutes ago, so it should work, in theory.
Well, we can check the new website and see if it's working.
We might be limited because he won't be here to toggle cameras back and forth to really zoom in. So we'll just have these guys back here, so it'll be more of the broad picture look, but
Cool.
at least we should be working.
It's 6:45. Call this August council meeting to order. All council members are present, along with our city clerk. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the city council agenda. I would like to add an announcement. Number 4, just an update on the Connections Committee. Would anybody else like to add?
Oh, I'd like to add an announcement that the new Birchwood website has been launched.
Okay.
And I'd like to add an announcement. Ty Schmidt's construction should be starting in early September.
Okay.
And Madam Clerk, if no one else makes the recommendation, I'd make the recommendation that we essentially
Birchwood
take under
website
the
has been
consent
launched.
agenda.
Works.
Oop, sorry.
It works. People
Good.
can watch it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What was that?
This is going to number 7 on the consent agenda.
Yeah.
If we could either break that out into 7A and B, or we can just make it 7 and then 8 would, well, amend it to city administrator engagement agreement, because that's what the agreement says. And I guess move everything down, so number 8 would then become city attorney engagement agreement, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So the policy document would become number 9, and finally, the city planner contract would become number 10.
Okay.
The other thing that I would add is we can't approve the financial summary for July because there are significant errors in the numbers.
Okay, we're looking just right now, though, at the regular agenda, so when we get to the consent.
I was just excited.
Let's pull it out.
It's okay. Is there anything else for the agenda?
And did you want to then pull that from consent? Is that the idea?
I think so, yeah.
that's what
I did put a call in because I did get your question, and so we might see if Marcia has a good answer for what's going on. But anyway, absent that, we can add it back in, but for now, we'll just pull it, or at least that's what I'll reflect on the minutes.
Okay. Any other amendments to the agenda? If not, could I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, Ryan
I
first.
first, Kathy second, I think.
Okay, all in
We have
favor?
the next one.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And we're on to public forum. Is anybody here to speak at the public forum? Would you like to speak? Sure. Okay, come on up to the microphone. You'll have to state your name and your address, please.
And then what else do I say? Whatever I came here for?
Yes. Yes.
So, is that good? Oh, now it's on? Okay. I'm Michelle Young. I live at 5 Hall Court. I'm here because our cul-de-sac has a lot of issues in the gravel and the potholes, and it's causing our kids to have injuries. And we also have an 80-year-old woman who gets nervous walking to the mailbox, so that's why I'm here. Is
Okay.
there anything else?
No, do you want me to read your,
I did read the letter, yeah, should I?
do you want to read it?
You can read it if you want, or I can read it, doesn't matter.
Oh, why don't you read it,
Okay.
since you wrote it?
Do you have it with you?
Yeah, it's in our,
Yes,
it's in our
I do.
packet.
Here you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, hello. I'm writing to you about a concern my court neighbors and I have been having with our pavement in the cul-de-sac. We have 4 children in the court, and it's not safe for them to bike, run, play kickball, scooter, or roller skate because of the condition of the potholes and slippery conditions with the gravel. I have 2 children, and they have gotten injured several times because of the conditions while playing out in the court. We were inquiring about the possibility of putting new pavement down for our court for the safety of our children. And later I wrote for this 80-year-old woman that I forgot to put in the letter, but our neighbor, Mary. Please let me know if this is possible and or how I could help to make this possible. Thank you for considering our request. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about, because you had read, or you had written this last week, did we get it? Or,
I think so, we can have go, and then I
Yeah,
sent
we-
another thing about Mary, which is the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
it's kind of separate.
we did discuss it at our work session the other night, so
Okay,
we're still working on 2027 plans, but I agree that that court's terrible,
okay,
awful.
yeah, it's been rough.
Like I was saying, I'm embarrassed. I took my daughter for a bike ride through there, and I'm like, I can't believe this is the condition of that road in Birchwood. So-
Yeah, and I haven't looked at the other calls, like I just know the one I live in.
Yeah, all the cul-de-sacs are bad, but yours is particularly bad, so stay tuned on that.
Okay,
You're on our radar for sure.
okay, thank you.
So thanks for reaching out, though.
Yeah.
Next up is, Alan, did you want to read through the emails we received? Or do you want me to read through the emails?
They're in the public record, so if you want them read into the record, that can be done. I would just add to the ones that we've added essentially into the packet. Cora Hankins actually called since one of the, number 2, the traffic safety on South Shore. That was actually not a Birchwood resident that chimed in on that. It was actually a town resident that was having problems, and so was kind of casting a net to see who was in charge to try and get that intersection to be safer. And actually, Cora Hankins wrote in and said the same thing. So I understand you might have had some conversations, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
So you can address that, but
Okay, so let's skip number 1 for a moment, and number 2 is the traffic safety at South Shore Boulevard. We heard from Cora Hankins about how dangerous that intersection is, especially for pedestrians
Oh,
coming off of
She wanted
Wildwood.
me to pass around a bunch of photos,
Oh,
I
okay,
guess.
that's fine.
aha,
And then, a White Bear Township resident as well
Yeah,
reached
oh,
out.
there's 2 copies.
Oh.
Don't worry.
A White Bear Township resident reached out to the city also to ask about that intersection, because his child was involved in an accident there.
well, and someone was killed.
Yeah,
Killed there?
not recently, I don't,
Well-
but it doesn't.
It was a wrong-way driver, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I have had an email exchange with Larry, who is from White Bear Township, and I believe Marcus has already contacted Larry as well. So things are in the works to make that intersection safer. I have asked Therese to have White Bear Lawn and Snow cut down all the vegetation at that corner, so at least it'll improve sight lines a little bit until we figure out what else is gonna happen there. Maybe Marcus, if you have more you wanna add during your presentation, you can, but, so basically, that's what's going on with that. So we're aware. But remember that that is a county road there, and so we, as Birchwood, don't really have any jurisdiction except for what we do on Wildwood Avenue. It's really nothing we can, as a city, do about that, unless we get cooperation. We had a request for a memorial bench at Ash Beach. Would you like me to read that, or council, have you had a chance to read that?
I read through all of them.
Me too.
I don't know that I need them read to me again.
Okay, so perhaps we can put that on our,
I mean, I like them in the, it's nice to put them in the, I guess you guys are gonna do your own thing here in a couple months, but I guess I like having them in the agenda. I don't really think it's appropriate to read them in the meetings
that's fine.
allowed, so that's fine. If people wanna be heard, they can come up, but like, otherwise, it's almost like we're adding an agenda item for somebody who's not
Right.
necessarily doing that, so, but I actually like just to read the feedback, so.
We
So,
wanted, that was the idea, was to make you aware of what's coming
Yeah.
into the front door. As long as it's not protected, complaint information, it seems to make sense to have you guys see it this way.
Well, yeah, I agree, I think that's nice, even,
so we shall not read these?
But are we making a decision on any of them?
I would suggest we
Is there
put it on our agenda for next month.
Okay.
let's,
Would
Do
that
you want the parks to talk about the bench, since it's on a beach?
Mhm. And also with number 5, because I was on Parks when we talked about that, and that was my concern as well.
Yes, I recall that we had tried to pass that and got lots of pushback, so I'm okay talking about it again.
And I would remind everybody that early on, when we all came together initially as a council, we had a resolution for standardized benches on concrete.
That's right.
Mhm.
So we can all consider those things next month. If there's nothing else to add with the public forum, anybody have anything else you want to add during public forum? If not, public forum is closed, and we'll move on to presentations. City business action item number 1 is consider bid for 2026 city street maintenance projects. Marcus?
All right, thanks, council. So in front of you, is what we got back for bids is just one. Tumas Roadways, who we worked with last year, it was sent out to, was it 5? Yeah, 5. A couple reached out with questions, so they were looking at it, just didn't want to put numbers to it. I don't know if they're too busy or what it was, but, so in front of you is just one quote, with 2 alternates for the parking lot. So when we talked at the workshop, we talked about trying to fix some of the errors, and the drainage issues, without spending a ton of money. And as I dug into the design a little bit deeper, I found a few more issues as we go down Birchwood Avenue. So I gave you preparation to fix all of the issues when we look at Birchwood. So we'd be stubbing out curb and gutter down the center, so kind of match your drainage pattern. And that's the one for 30,000. And then when we come through with Birchwood Avenue, we'd have to tie onto that. Or the cheaper option is just paving over it, which would help just smooth everything over, like you've seen in the other areas where we've built and overlaid. And we'd look at it when we address Birchwood. Any questions before I go into my recommendation?
Marcus, if we just pave it over, is that throwaway money when we do Birchwood?
I think regardless, we're touching it in the future. I think that parking lot and Birchwood Avenue were designed in 2 separate thoughts and weren't put together, if that makes sense. The low point of Birchwood Avenue isn't where it should be. It should be shifted further so we get it down here. And I think that my recommendation is just to pave over it for now, so it'd smooth it out. It would generally resolve like the ugliness of it, and then when we come back for Birchwood Avenue, we'd redesign it a bit to put curb and gutter on the outside, which would probably cost you guys more, but it would overall, functionality-wise, look better and be more with what you're used to seeing, if that makes sense. You don't see a whole lot of parking lots with curb and gutter down the center, which we can do in the future, but, yeah. Parking lot has a whole lot of issues. It's not ADA compliant technically, and I'm trying to resolve that with alternate A, which I generally do, but I still think there probably could be some more tweaks to it. So my recommendation is just to pave over it while we address the big issue in the future. Because I don't want to have us spend money now and not fully fix it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Will the parking lot still drain better than it has been?
I mean, it'll be smoother, yeah, we won't get caught up. You're still gonna have the low spot, and
On
we're out in the
Birchwood Ave.
field, we'll try to get it to drain a little bit better, but there's only so much we can do without going pretty far back. So it'll drain better, no different than the other streets. Everything runs smoother down fresh asphalt.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question for Marcus?
What's out of 88 compliance?
Where where the vans or your ADA stalls are need to be under 2%. You're well over 2%. That's the main thing.
What does that mean?
2% of,
like slope, like if,
Oh, it's a slope.
yeah, like a sidewalk has to be pretty flat for people in wheelchairs, things like that. So if someone gets out of a van, their wheelchair doesn't go sliding
yeah.
on them. So,
Okay.
yeah. I want to say it was at like 4%. If you're not looking at it, you guys would look like it's fine, but I dig a little deeper into those kind of things.
And we couldn't address that with just the mill and overlay? No, okay.
No.
All right. Any other questions for Marcus?
You said you had more of a presentation to go into here?
Well, my recommendation was to go with alternate 2 if we do want to go with their bid. I didn't see any issues with the numbers. It was maybe slightly on the higher side of things, but not really by much. They're at $150 a ton for bituminous. Last year we saw 120. So it is slightly higher, but within realm of what I expected.
Okay.
So in the packet, you have project location as the parking lot.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I always do this.
As the courts as well, is both areas going to be included then?
Yep.
Probably call back.
Yep, and so the courts, it's currently bituminous curb there, we're putting bituminous curb back, and then right at the bottom of the hill, where we come around the radius going into Polly's Park, that'd be concrete curb, because it really washes out there. And then I have riprap going in there to slow it down as we get hit Polly's Park.
And that's included in this bid?
Yep, and then I had them restoring some of that path a little bit, at least where we're working with gravel.
Anything else for Marcus?
I have a question. I live near the lift station, and I've noticed it has a little bit of an odor lately.
Excuse me, can we just vote on number 1 first?
Yeah, but I got asked if there was anything else for
Well,
Marcus, so I'm
in a
happy with.
In a moment,
I'm happy, but can we get to my smells after we
We
vote?
certainly can.
Okay.
If there are no other questions for Marcus on item number 1, could I have a motion, please, to approve the base bid? And then whoever's making the motion, choose alternate 1 or alternate 2. I guess I would go with alternate 2 based on Marcus's recommendation.
Are you moving that?
I hate to make motions as mayor. I prefer a council
Well,
person
I'll
to
do
it.
that.
Okay.
So I will move to approve the Bitmus roadway base bid, Birchwood Courts, and alternate 2 for the City Hall parking lot with edge mill and overlay for the next project.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Marcus, do you have a time frame for that? And will you check with Therese to make sure there aren't any events when we do the city hall?
Yeah, I'll reach out to them tonight still, because they're expecting to get an answer so they can put us on the schedule. But they have to be done by the end of October at the very
Yeah.
latest, so,
And then we should put it on the calendar so people know they can't reserve city hall
yep,
and have parking.
yep.
That's going to be interesting because the Connections Committee already has an event planned for October 25th.
Hopefully they don't wait till the last minute to do the
So-
project.
Okay, well, just so
That's
you're
just
aware.
contract, with their contract,
Okay.
everything needs to be done by then.
Okay,
So I would expect it would be less than a week that they're gonna do.
Usually we can make a request though to them to kind of.
Yeah, yep. I'll work with Therese and make sure we get dates and make sure it doesn't conflict. The parking lot will be less than a day, so.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Why don't we just run down this list and we'll put your smell at number 5. Sorry. Number 2.
I'm not worried, I just don't want it to disappear
No.
before we get to the smell issue.
Just so
Alright.
the record's clear, we did base bid plus alternate 2?
That's correct.
Okay.
No,
Marcus, number 2. Traffic concerns? Wait, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add necessarily, other than, I can reach out to the county, because they would have had to have done some kind of study on that traffic change, get that information so we can start looking at that, and then just let them know of our concerns, to see, just start that conversation.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a slow moving bus with that,
Right.
but,
What are even the possibilities of what they could do to,
I can say is any little thing, safety-wise, we want to be noting. Just keeping record, whether it's an email to City Hall or to myself, so we can work on getting funding for that. I don't know what their study looks like to know what options they even looked at, because obviously it was a big traffic change by only allowing one way.
when it's a three-way stop?
Right.
Too?
So, I mean, that alone would have had to have some kind of study, but a new study will have to be probably performed. And then we just want to know all the safety concerns, because those things are how you get funding for bigger things.
Alan, I know that you had talked about possibly getting solar lighting around some of those signs, and Lake Links could pay for it?
Mayor and council, after actually Ms. Hankins reached out to me, which was right after the person that, from the township who initially complained, they asked me what we could do, and I said, well, Birchwood can do very little because we don't have any control over really any of that roadway, certainly because technically it's in the township's area, so none of that is one way that we imposed on anybody. But where it says do not enter, that could definitely be highlighted, and one would hope that with some flashing lights saying do not enter, that would keep the one example of someone who managed to get all the way down around the corner and then crash into a tree further down into the town, get that to stop. That seems to be a pretty easy, cost-effective way to prevent that accident from happening again. But again, it's going to have to go through the tech group at both counties, because it's jointly run roadway. It'd be easy if it was all turned back, but I don't think that's going to happen until long after all those improvements are done overall. If it's ever done, I don't know if there's still time.
At the risk of sounding like somebody who's over worried, something needs to be done at that intersection. I don't know if it's a crosswalk or not, but it for bikes.
I was going to go there
I run
next.
through there all the time, it's genuinely feels unsafe. Whether the statistics bear that out, I expect they do, but I don't know, so.
And that was another thing, Cora brought up, was she bikes there an awful lot, so it really is kind of a blind corner. And what I told her, what I told the mayor was, what we can do is what we have jurisdiction over, which is to clear that sight lane a little bit on our side, on the Feisner Reserve side, as well as put in some crosswalk. We can light it, we can do anything we want, as long as we stay on our side of the fence.
And Lake
so-
Links sounded, that note that they sent to us, they sounded like they would be okay funding it. If it,
As long as we can tie it to Lake Links. Yep,
yeah,
that's
because
the
it is
last
on the
part.
bike path.
Yep, and I think as long as it passes, I think a very, very, very simple test, and we're not asking for any more money, and we should have enough money after we finish
Well, we've got plenty
major
of money.
projects, right?
Yep.
Those are very easy ways to make a dangerous intersection a lot less dangerous, so I'll certainly recommend it. We'll obviously come to you with recommendations, probably clear it with the folks at Met Council, who kind of oversee this pot of money, just to make sure we've at least shown the people that, we have to report to, but I don't see why we can't.
And we do have a letter from Kate saying
Yes.
we can spend that money to do that
Yep.
there. So I don't know why we'd have to go back to Met Council.
Well, because we need to show them what we're doing. So they said, in theory, I think we could, but I think we should double check with them that this is what our design is, and just to get another set of eyes on it. So I don't anticipate a lot of pushback, because again, we're not asking for any money. It's money that's right there, dedicated to the trail purposes, so.
Right, and not to be argumentative, but I am being argumentative, which is Lake Links didn't ask us for any designs on any of the things that we've been doing. So we just told them what we were doing. They said that was okay. So I don't know that we have to bend over backwards and show the design. To me, we have an approval letter. So I'll just leave it at that.
Would it, do we still have a mirror in the city hall somewhere? Like one of those big, large ones that could be mounted on our
The concave, or, I never remember which way is which, but the one that you can see the
Yep.
bigger picture. I haven't seen one here.
Okay. We used to have one in the basement before they did the clean out
I'll look.
a while
That's-
ago.
I think that was another one of Cora's suggestions, was to have a mirror there to at least show off a bicyclist coming. But clearing the sight lane, you know, obliquely will help, and putting a crosswalk there just to let people know, hey, this is the ped zone, right? So be careful, because you might have one there. Right now, there's really
For
nothing.
a mirror to work there, it would have to go on like the Ramsey Wiper Township.
That's the problem with that. Yep.
I mean, I doubt that's a problem. I expect they would agree to it. I mean, it doesn't seem expensive, but it's just not something we can just unilaterally do.
Well, and the problem is they're precarious. So as a traffic device, and
That's
that's what
probably
I know about it. I mean, Marcus can speak to that better than I can, but they're not encouraged in places like multiple lane stop zones. Marcus, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah?
It's taking your eyes off of the thing that, in theory, your eyes should be looking at, so. But it's not to say, I mean, there's so many parties involved that it's all speculation, right? We still need all these approvals to do it. That you're doing the right thing by opening the sight lanes up. And hopefully that does help a little bit. But
That's the first step. We can do whatever we can do on our end with that Lake Links money, and then we can pursue other things with
Yeah.
Whitebear Township also.
I think that makes sense.
So we can move forward, and then they want to join in, fine.
And to the extent that we can even put, even if it gets caught up in committee for a year, as far as putting some sort of ring around the one-way do not enter, that doesn't mean that on our zone, we can't put a flashing light in just because
right.
it's in our territory.
Absolutely.
You know, where we clear all that vegetation, just put a flashing light there and whatever sign we want.
Yep.
I don't see how anyone could keep us from doing that. Even if it says bike lane, be cautious, something,
yeah.
right? Signs are cheap.
to clarify, the issue is mainly coming up the hill where there's not a stop, right? Like where the cars are coming up, that's more or less the issue. There's no stopping condition.
Well, it's that you can't see the
The
path.
lane,
If you're pulling off of Wildwood and making a left, or even going across
going
the
straight.
intersection,
Mm.
you can't see the bikes and pedestrians coming up from the lake on the.
blind
bike
corner.
trail.
Oh, I see, okay, yep.
So Feisner there,
Yep,
it's so overgrown, yeah.
You gotta pull out and
yeah,
to see.
that's-
and-
okay.
It really seems to me like we need somebody like you, Marcus, and maybe a county person like you to go and kind of, not just say we need a crosswalk, but kind of figure out
Yeah,
what some things are to do, because,
Mhm.
you know, in my view, like, figure out what to do at a council meeting is hard, but if we get an engineer in there like you who's seen some things like that before and goes and looks at it in a couple things, then we might get somewhere, so.
yeah. I'll start with whatever they have when they did it originally and see why they went that route, and we can,
It seems
Or-
like whoever designed it there didn't do a very good job in the first place, but.
Or can you just bring recommendations back next month for us too? What we can just do by ourselves without any cooperation from any other municipality?
okay.
Not that I'm willing to
Might-
cooperate, but I just want to move a
might-
little quicker than, you know,
Might
a
not get
year.
much, but I'll look at options, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then can we agree to do the brush as
Of
quickly
course.
as possible?
That's scheduled, or I already asked Therese if she would schedule that with White Bear Lawn and Snow,
Great.
so.
And we'll be putting in some more sonotubes anyway for some lake link signs, so I assume you're giving us a little bit of discretion to, you know, be consistent with what you're saying. If we can get away with it, we should do it. Essentially.
All right, and then, the last thing, did you want to bring up your concern to Marcus?
Yeah, so lift station by my house smells, is that normal?
It is normal. I heard about this. It is slightly normal, but the guy who designed it, I'll swing him over and see if there's anything else we can do for it. So they're supposed to, with the new lift station, it's supposed to have something in it where it helps contain the smell.
Okay,
But I'll see if there's options that we opted out of
New
doing.
one?
yeah.
The
I mean,
new one, right?
Yeah, I guess the smell is kind of the secondary concern, is like, it's not a bunch of sewer gas that's gonna, it just doesn't mean there's anything wrong, and I don't think it does, but I just thought it was worth asking, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
The,
okay.
the smell probably realistically is that your guys' pump isn't constantly running anymore. and so
Oh, I
it's-
see.
It's sitting there for,
Oh, so it's
So-
drying a little.
So if
not really drying, but it's allowing it to smell before your guys' before your guys' pump was always running.
Always running.
So it didn't have a chance to smell.
Is that something that could potentially be tweaked? Is how often the pump runs, like, could it be, control levels be adjusted?
You can, yeah, you can.
Well, it might be
but-
worth just an ask to somebody without like going into, not sure I should go into control systems in a council meeting either, so.
Get some potpourri, get it down there.
Yeah, we'll tell people to flush nicer stuff.
Gross. All right, are there any other questions for Marcus before he goes?
Mhm.
Thank you, Marcus. All right, we had, last month, or, I can't remember now, we had put out a notice to residents, in our letter as well, about our infrastructure, the results of the televising. In that letter was a call for participants for the focus group to just look at the plans and give feedback as to funding and timing. So we had 7 people who were interested in being on that group, and in the letter, it stated that we wanted to get input from all over the city, not just one specific area. So we have a representative who lives on Hall, a representative on Birchwood Avenue, one from Wildwood, and one from Birchwood Courts. There were 2 others who applied, but they lived right next to each other or across the street from each other, and they didn't seem very conducive to representation, equal representation. So the focus group is going to be made up of the 5 members from various parts of the city. And you have the list, I believe, in your packet. And I'd like a motion just to accept that group. And then I'll notify them tomorrow.
Are
Or
the
if
other
you have
two-
any comments about it, let me.
Are the other 2 members who wanted to be on it, I assume they are welcome to come and watch?
Anybody can observe. Yep, of course.
I move to appoint the 5 residents listed on page 49 of the agenda packet to the road planning focus group, and to thank them for focusing.
It's a big job. It's a lot of information to go through. so.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Number 4, Alan, would you like to discuss the duplicate city code chapters?
I would be happy to, Madam Mayor. In your packet, you'll notice at 50 and 51, 2 sections of code. And of course, as we were drilling down with Bridget on the website project, of course, reposting the city code became one of those exercises, as well as the table of contents. And so Genevieve, when she showed me the table of contents that she wanted to approve, I guess she called this out, and that made me scratch my head, so that's why it's on here now. Both of these sections of the code announce that they've got the setup for the Public Works Reserve Fund. One's more, I guess, complete, it looks like, and from what I can tell from the 802 version of it, that was passed, I want to say, when Al Mitchell was the mayor back in 12, and the one before that was much earlier. I'm not quite sure why, because we don't keep a deep legislative history file of why things are done, but if you go into 611 right now, there's also a 611A, which talks about another reserve fund, so it would make more sense to take 802 as is in your packet and just replace it with the 611 that's in your packet, right? And eliminate 802, which would just leave an empty section in the code, because there's really nothing else there under 802. It's a little curious how it got done that way, and I can't tell from anything that I've found. I can't find an explanation for it,
Is that?
but it
fund-
shouldn't be in two places.
Does the fund that's documented completely in 802 exist still?
I think it's a fund, it's something that exists within your financials, but it wouldn't be an 802 fund and a 611 fund. It would just be in your books as the Public Works Reserve Fund.
I thought,
Didn't- Sorry, go ahead.
oh, you go ahead. That's fine.
They had I thought there was just a note in the treasurer's report that Bridget and John just were talking with Marcia and decided not to put funds into the Public Works Fund anymore for the road stuff.
No.
That's,
The
What
general,
what it was for the roads fund, it's not broken out, it's part of the general fund now, whereas it wasn't reflected in the general fund.
oh, road and bridge expenses will be put back in the general fund, so that
Correct.
has nothing to do with this fund.
Not at all.
Does this,
No.
does this fund have money in it?
I'd have to look.
I mean,
but again, if it does, it
Okay.
would be in the books as what it's named. It wouldn't be, like I said, a 600 fund and an 800 fund.
I guess I'm fine with,
Well, wait a minute. Can I interrupt you just for a second? Because Ryan, can you just look, because you have really, you have a good brain on you, Ryan. Look at 611.030.
it beats my personality.
Here, it's right here. Do you want to look at it here? And then look at the wording at 802.040. And this is what I'm concerned about right here. It says, shall be used only for capital improvements of a type for which the city is authorized to issue bonds. And
Oh.
802 does not state that specifically.
Yeah.
And so what I'm concerned with, I don't even know if we have a public works fund. That doesn't even sound familiar to me.
I don't
mean,
I don't think we
recognize it
have
at
one.
all.
And remember, it's a Public Works Reserve Fund.
What's your concern with that,
Well, it really ties you up. That means if, for example, we had a lift station, that's public works, right? If we had a failure, we could not use the money in the reserve fund unless we issued bonds.
I don't think
Six-
that's quite what it says, but why
It
don't we
does.
just strike that language out of it?
It
It
certainly
says-
says that.
It says if we're authorized to issue bonds, it doesn't say we have to issue bonds, it says we can only use the money for some sort of a capital expense for which bonds could be another means to fund it, that's the way I would read that.
The public works fund shall be used only for capital improvements of a type for which the city of Birchwood Village is authorized to issue bonds.
But I mean, and think of
Oh,
it
so
this way,
we don't
right?
have to
Like,
issue bonds.
You could go to a restaurant and pay cash for a steak for which you are authorized to use a credit card to pay for it, right? Doesn't mean you have to. That's the way I would read that
Okay.
but I would just strike that probably. I mean,
Okay.
it seems to me like what they're trying to say is this money must be used for capital expenses.
For
and
major
that's-
projects,
Right,
not
and not
maintenance.
just, you know.
Okay.
Well, and don't forget
That
about the
makes sense.
preposition that starts that sentence too. If not so designated, comma, ... This is in 040.
Yeah, that's a good point too, Alan. Yep.
All I'm trying to do is bring this to your attention. Staff can scrub this together. I just would like to know what you'd like to do about the fact that it appears twice in the code.
Make it appear once.
Make it
That's
once?
fine. And then you choose which one and we can look at the language then.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even think we have a
I
public
have
works
some
fund
comments
right
on the
now.
language. Do you want, there's one place here where this references,
Which one are you talking about, Ryan? Which code section?
well,
802 or 600?
And we can do some of this
like I
offline.
see a section here where it references 802.040. I don't know if that's a current section of code. Like, I would just go through and clean it up, and I'm happy to do that. if you
Yeah,
want me
these
to
are
look
both
at it
current sections of code.
Out of a council meeting, otherwise
Yeah.
wordsmithing it is something we can do in a meeting too. I don't think this is so long or complex or controversial that it would be that hard.
No.
I don't
I
remember
just wasn't
reading
gonna
it when I was
manipulate
reading all
code
the code
unless
that was on the
you guys wanted
website
to
is
do
the
it.
problem. I remember the 611.
Why don't we-
That is a
802.
good
Yeah,
idea.
we'll never use
Can we
that
come
section.
back?
Yeah.
Can we work on the language and we'll come back next meeting? Okay?
We'll combine them and we'll make sure it says what we want it to say.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. And so I'm gonna have to look into state laws that talks about this too. But again, you're just talking about it twice and we don't have to.
Right.
Okay.
Can we find out if we have that specific fund, just just.
And
for fun.
we'll check into the financials. I was gonna wade through the chart of accounts, and I don't know. But again, this would just be a reserve fund, so it's not like it's affecting your active.
No, I know, I don't recall seeing that in the list of
Me either.
listed funds, so if we have a fund that's missing,
Was
we're
there
doing an
ever-
audit.
Was there ever a Hall Avenue Cedar Street Reserve Fund?
You're asking the wrong guy. That'd be a good Marcia question or someone else like that, but
Okay.
There was money, 31,000 that was given to the city when the county turned over the road,
Okay, that's what it is then.
and that was spent.
and that's probably worth eliminating, frankly.
Yeah.
so.
Right.
I need to back up on something because I was scrolling and I just found something, I have no idea what it is, but it was listed with our city maintenance streets projects. It's on page 49 of the packet, which is estimated cost, local contributions, and it lists City of Birchwood Village, Gray Cloud, and Stillwater. And then it's like $44,000. I don't know what this is for.
Yeah, the only thing I could figure it out was sealing, the crack filling.
Marcus can probably tell you.
That'd be a Marcus
This
question.
was-
It says
this-
without 7% contingency, et cetera.
This was where we worked with the county.
Yeah,
to
that's
do
just
that
a
crack
share.
fill and sealing, and then we
Cost share.
split up the cost between.
44,000
the
doesn't
county.
sound right,
Okay.
but I know on your guys' consent agenda, we have the final pay request for the crack ceiling.
It's like 26,497 is Birchwood's,
Oh, yep,
which is the most of all of those cities, which I was
that's for the crack
surprised.
ceiling.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
so we had more cracks than Stillwater. That's amazing.
And
Oh, you probably
Stillwater-
did more water.
and Stillwater
Water.
Township.
Roadway.
Town of Stillwater.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. I was thinking that was a whole lot for us comparative to the others. And Gray Cloud is not anywhere near here, so I was like, what is going on?
Which they didn't, I think those two didn't really have a whole lot, so
Oh,
I think.
no,
these-
they're very small.
They're
but
very
I was
small.
Just unsure as to what this actually was for because I didn't see it listed elsewhere. Okay, sorry, continue on.
Okay. Well, that's it for our action items.
Yeah, I just ask that you move the table until next month, item 4. Bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Item 4, for those listening, is the city code chapters that we were just discussing.
Do you want a motion on that, or should we just bring it back?
Yeah, just to move the table.
I move to table discussion 4 until such time as staff has prepared extensive report on it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
All right, thank you.
All right. We're on to the consent agenda. Number 2, the treasurer's financial summary is pulled.
And can I just make one comment so
Certainly.
everybody, so as I was looking at it, it just sounded too good to be true. We are not 17.9 to the good, we are 23.4 over budget. So the numbers were just wrong. So year-to-date, we're off our budget by 23,400.
Over budget.
Yeah,
Thanks. Good catch.
And for what it's worth, I just got a text from Marcia, and as I mentioned to Ryan earlier, one of her other clients had a loss in the family of the city, so she's playing clerk for Baytown tonight. And so it's appropriate to pull that, and we'll just address it and get back to you when we figure it out.
Sounds
So
good.
she can't chime in and take care of it now, because she's literally, she's doing this for Baytown right now.
yep.
Okay.
And I have sent her your concerns along to her, so she knows what the issue is, Bridget.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we've pulled out number 2, the financial summary. And did you want the financial statement pulled as well?
Yes,
Number 5,
yes.
that's pulled.
Well, we can't approve it with the numbers that are in there.
Right. But the disbursements are okay, and the claims?
Yep.
That looked right to me as
Yeah, I
well.
would think 3, 4, and 6 are okay.
And 1, 3, 4, 6, we're approving, and that's it. So could I have a motion to approve 1, 3, 4, and 6 on the consent agenda, please?
Did you need to talk about the planner contract, which is now 10? I don't think.
I don't. Does anybody have questions about the planner contract?
Or the policies document, that's number 9.
I think that looks okay.
You should add those into your approvals then.
Should we also approve the city clerk and city attorney engagement agreements, or did we pull
No,
those
we're
out?
pulling
I
Pulling
think,
those two
I
out.
think
like
the
to
mayor
pull
wanted
those.
those pulled, but
Yeah.
the 2 after that, I didn't hear anyone want
Okay,
pulled.
fine.
So
So
which
what you
ones-
said, I think, is correct, Jen. So,
What I'm suggesting that we approve is number 1, 3, 4, 6,
9 and 10,
yes, 9 and 10.
you know,
okay.
1, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 10.
On motion.
I will move to approve 1, 3, 4, 6,
9.
9, and 10. Need me to list those.
Well,
Council meeting minutes from July, the July claim signature template, the July claim history, July disbursements and receipts, the policy document regarding conflicts, and city planner contract.
Yep, that's what I've got it on motion.
mhm.
Just waiting a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, so we're going to have to wait then until we hear from Marcia for the treasurer's financial statement and July financial statements. What I'd like to move on to is number 7, which is the approval of the city clerk engagement agreement. Ryan, can you pull that up?
Yep.
No.
No, I had it up. I don't know what happened to it.
So Ryan and I worked on this a little bit, and you guys had a paper copy last month just to peruse. There are still some mistakes in it that we need to fix, so I thought we could do that tonight, and then we can approve that city clerk engagement agreement.
I had a couple changes
Yeah.
on the city clerk one.
And remember, this is captioned as the city administrator engagement.
Yes,
Is it?
city administrator engagement
Okay.
agreement. The first one, I'm trying.
Hold on a minute,
I'm
Ryan's.
pulling it up. It set things up for me. Just another minute.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you what I found.
Okay, what page number?
Well, so in the packet,
Mhm.
it's 68, which is Article 7, compensation, payroll, and pension.
68? Yes, so I found one starting on page 65, so can we just start there? And then we'll hit yours.
Okay. Well, I guess I did want to ask, one of the things that was noted in here was that they suggested that we have it legal reviewed by an outside source, did we? Okay.
did we retain
asked-
a special counsel?
No, I asked Margaret Ford if she would look through them all and see if she found any glaring errors or anything.
Okay.
She was gracious enough to do that for us.
Do we have a League of Minnesota attorney that, Paul, is he still ours?
He's more land use. Chris Smith is the league's usual contract guy.
Okay, so would he be available in the event we had something where we needed to pull someone from the League of Minnesota Cities? So we have an official person on deck?
For what purpose?
Legal review of any of the things that you cannot participate in as yourself.
So conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest
Yeah.
things, yeah. We would have to hire outside counsel.
Yeah, I could ask Chris, Mr. Smith, to do that.
I think we do have to hire outside counsel in this case pursuant to the policy we just passed.
My question is, who decides when
No.
Alan has a conflict of interest?
There's,
The language in the conflict of interest policy does not state that.
It says we're required, doesn't it?
I don't think we use the word required.
I don't think so either. I'll try to stay away from that word.
Yeah.
Well,
Hold on.
I mean, I
You
wasn't
got
gonna
it
say
yet?
anything on this, but it's certainly,
I mean, we can certainly have it reviewed. It's not a big deal.
The problem is, I think we should get a quote for having it reviewed, because my concern is bringing in special counsel is gonna get expensive on this stuff.
We'll look at a contract.
To look at 30 pages of contract, and to go through, something like this.
Was Margaret's specialty in,
Well, Margaret can't be a special counsel because we haven't retained her as a
No,
counsel.
she isn't a special
She's
counsel, and she
doing-
said she's not active. She just said,
She's demonstrating the problem here, which is that we don't actually want to get a special counsel for all this stuff.
So-
But, I mean,
What, in Exhibit A, in the role matrix, what are you saying that we're
well, let me-
requiring ourselves to do?
I'm trying to find what page does the policy start on here?
policy was
91.
91,
So yeah, Exhibit A in the role matrix.
should be 93 if you're taking it in.
Routine contract review, special counsel, no.
No, that's not.
Yeah, that's on page 10 and 11 is that box or that matrix.
Mandatory special counsel matters, section 12.02, bottom of page 85. The city shall retain special counsel for all matters involving attorney's compensation under this agreement, attorney's employment, evaluation, discipline, severance, or termination under the administrative agreement. So that appears to require, it says shall require, that means it's not optional for us.
Wait, what are you looking at?
Page 85, you said?
Page
I'm on the-
85
Okay,
of
Article
the city
12.
attorney professional services agreement.
it's 12.02.
12.02 appears to require us to get special counsel in this case. It says shall.
Mm-hmm, you're right.
I see that, I see the hard copy.
I would definitely want to have, you said Chris, potentially look at that from the League of Minnesota Cities.
But I think we need to, pursuant to our documents here, we
Right.
can't just have somebody off the street look at it. We actually have to retain somebody here.
Well, isn't the League of Minnesota Cities one that we can retain through?
We would have to enter into a retainer agreement with
Is
an
that what we did
attorney.
with Paul last time?
No, you don't need a retainer with any of these people. I mean, that's why they're there. They're our service, right? And they're there to protect the city from liability, so
The document says the city shall retain special counsel.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you what the League of Minnesotas can do.
Does
not
retain
sure
always
if
mean
it's
that
fair to call this,
hired to,
Depends on what you
hired?
call a matter, too.
So would you feel more comfortable if I contacted the league?
No, just
and
vote,
run it?
just vote it through, just approve it, just make your changes and approve it.
I think there's a problem, because the documents that I have aren't matching those, so I don't know what's going on.
What?
The documents that I have aren't matching those documents that are in the packet, so I don't know
Oh.
if that's
No.
the,
Nobody,
But
there's,
we approved this, what
there's
was in the
only
packet.
one
That's the
person in
problem.
this town who's
can we go
gonna-
back on that?
No, we can amend it.
Why can't we unapprove something?
What are you talking about? What do you want to unapprove? I'm not paying attention to the.
City
dict over
planner
there.
contract that we,
No, the
No.
rules.
or I'm sorry, the policy
conflicts.
regarding conflicts?
I mean, you can certainly amend it. I guess I feel like this is getting a little bit overcomplicated. Like, I'm not that worried about it. I'm a little worried about it, but like, I was just, honestly, if it was gonna stay in this consent agenda, I was just kinda gonna vote for it and move on with my life, because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You know, if I were doing it, I probably would have been done it a little differently, but like,
But do we have an
No, what-
issue that you got one contract and we're looking at another one?
Yeah, so I can see what's printed off your agenda here.
Okay.
Because I have my master documents that I sent to Alan, but I know, I think, other documents that were sent before, I don't know if there was some sort of mix-up, if I sent the right documents.
And I can tell you unequivocally, Alan sent, without even opening the documents,
Yeah,
for that
so
reason,
it
to
would be-
city support, so that they would be included as untouched.
Here, so give me 2 seconds to take a look.
And if none of this stuff is well cooked, we can certainly bring it back in September.
Yeah, that's fine as well. I don't like to waste a lot of time during a meeting
And to be honest,
Going through
with the,
by the,
I do think there's quite a bit of language in both agreements, the attorney agreement and the administrator agreement, that the conflict policy might not be, like, we might not need it, like, we might have our bases covered. I think it's a good thing to have, but
I think my understanding from talking to people is that,
people are saying,
well, I don't want to cite anybody I talked to.
yeah, we know who you talked to.
But, yeah, of course you do, but like, you know,
thank you, Jeff.
Anyway, what?
that there's not, a lot of this stuff is just kind of default, like conflicts of interest, you can't contract your way around them. Like, they're just
Yeah.
existing. It's good to say we should deal with them if we have them, but like, nothing in the contract is gonna change really how conflicts are handled, because you just have to handle conflicts. I mean, you have an ethical, whatever the lawyer bar association requirements are, to deal with conflicts in a certain way in a lot of cases.
There's a reason why I'll accept contracts longer than I've ever had in my life, especially as it relates to this stuff, because was it Justice White, the one who famously said, you know, I can't define pornography, but I know it when I see it. You know, I know a
That's
conflict,
what we should put in. We know a conflict when we see it.
but I know a conflict when I see it. So my first obligation as the city attorney is to call that out, especially if the conflict is with myself. So there has to be a certain amount of trust, or this is all just a silly exercise and you should go find another
Here's the
city
problem.
clerk.
Here's the thing, right? Alan is a nice guy, right? And unlikely we're gonna run into an issue, but if you could end up with an issue with somebody where they were having a performance review, for example, and they demanded that the city retain a special counsel, and then made your lives really miserable over that, and ran up expenses for the city or something, like, you know, I guess I'm not that worried about it. I don't know, I felt like somebody asked me and I should say it, but I was just gonna vote for it and figure this is probably not gonna be. I think you did a lot of really nice work here, Ryan. So,
I
and
tried.
I felt like,
Hopefully I sent the right
I felt
copies to
like I
Alan.
was, you know, I didn't wanna, I wanted to, you know, really kind of acknowledge that you're really trying, I think, and, you know, so, just to be clear, I was just gonna vote for it, and I'll still just do that.
Can we just clarify what
You know,
article you were referencing?
well, like, there's a
12,
You were in 1202, right?
Employees shall use reasonable
In the
efforts to identify.
city administrator agreement, it's 13.02, and I think
13.02.
in the city administrator agreement on page 72, and then in like, and maybe we just change that, maybe if you guys are as worried about it as I am,
See,
you
I'm
just
not
change
worried
the
about it.
shall to a may.
I just say unless the council explicitly determines otherwise. So the council has control over whether, it's the first line,
where does it say that?
right here, unless the council
So-
expressly determines otherwise after independent advice.
So, why don't you just, I don't feel like I need
That's
to say
totally
anymore,
different.
like,
Maybe we should start
if
over
you want me to
next
vote for it,
month.
just say and I'll vote for it. I just don't know.
No, I don't think we should
It's
vote for it
totally
because we've
different.
got two different versions.
Yeah, what's going on?
But that's 12.
There's a city administrator agreement and an attorney agreement, and I think in the one it's 12, and in the other one it's 13. To be fair, I'm also having a little bit of trouble managing
There's too many documents.
the number of
Too many
pages here.
Okay, what do you want to do, Ryan?
Well,
We could table them and square all this stuff up off record.
yeah, because I guess
I don't understand how the documents could be different from what.
They're not, I don't think they are. I think we're just all confused about which document we're looking at, so I think.
So it's flip-flop.
Yes, I think Hankins talking about the attorney one, I'm looking at the.
In the
administrator one.
packet, the administrator is the first set and the attorney is the second set, and I've looked
Yeah.
at 12 and 13, and those are two different numbers, but they're also two different packets. or
And
two
so
different-
I was really,
So 13 does have, in the administrator one, that unless the council expressly determines otherwise, after independent advice.
Right, and mandatory special counsel matters, which is section 12 on page 85, is something entirely different, which affects what I do for you as the city attorney. So they are different roles, so they've got different conflict clauses, I would say.
okay, so we have the right documents, so that's the good news. I think we've clarified that. I think that as long as there's no issues with the matrix that, in the policy, I think we're good to go.
Okay, so what Ryan found is a shall.
Why don't you
Wait,
change?
just wait a minute.
Yeah.
Ryan found a shall, but it was in the attorney contract, correct?
No.
Was it in the
it's in both-
administrative?
It's in both. It's in both 1202 of the
1202,
attorney contract and 1302 of the city administrator
Yeah,
contract.
but 13.
Well, remember, there's a
stated
savings
differently.
clause in the city administrator one that says unless.
Right.
I don't see that in the 1302,
It's the very first word.
unless, oh, you're right, okay. I thought you meant at the end, I didn't start at the
That's
beginning of the
okay.
sentence. But, okay, but it says unless the council determines otherwise after independent advice. So that means that we have to get independent legal advice.
That doesn't mean we need to retain, we could get.
We could get,
a-
yeah, in that case, I
a
think we could.
legal opinion.
Opinion, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Jennifer, what was your thing on 65?
Oh, you have my, sorry. 65, city administrator employment agreement. We have to put a date in. But do you guys want to come back to this next month?
No, it's getting taken care of.
Okay.
Why don't, you guys have how many things? Everybody has 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
I think I said my things. Why don't you guys all
Okay.
say your things and we'll just get it done?
Okay, 65, entered into this agreement effective, would it be today? We want to put it in the contract, so August 12th, put in. Please. We're just gonna go page, I found several, so on 66, 3.04, the term. Initial term of the agreement begins on the effective date and continues until
I have termination or renewal.
termination or renewal.
Is that,
That's not in here.
no, I know, because I just
Oh.
typed it.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Termination or renewal?
That's 30.04.
Uh-huh. And then on page, did you have one before 68, or are we both talking probably about the same one on 68?
Where our funds amounts don't match?
The salary, 7.01. It's supposed to be 40, not 35.
7-01.
Well, there's a 40 down below and a 35 in the text, so it's
Got it.
It's supposed to
one or the other, and it should be one.
7.01, it should be 40.
Okay, changed.
Page 69, PTO and benefits. Alan, what did we discuss when Ryan and I met with you? There is no PTO, right?
I get nothing.
That's what I thought.
What we have, this should just be pursuant to our policy, right? Unless
Wouldn't that be state law? So you'd be the
we,
family leave?
I think we have to pay under family leave, maybe, but the way I look at this is salaried, so most of that stuff is subject to negotiation. And so I'm kind of off the, I'm off the grid when it comes to some of those things. So it's not my expectation to earn PTO because it's just to do the work and you're good. So I'm not earning vacation, right? If I want to do the work from a chalet someplace, I can do the work. So my expectation is not to be accumulating PTO just to cash it out at some point.
Okay, so we just need to make sure in Exhibit B, there is no PTO, it should just be a dash in there.
Perfect.
And the
Then
same
in
with it.
8.02, should that say that employees shall not accrue paid?
I'm in para though, so
Right.
that's something that we
Oh,
all
okay.
get, so that's appropriate,
Okay.
which is a weird feeling.
It says, shall, unless otherwise stated, PTO shall include whatever, but it has, it's according to Exhibit B. So whatever we put in
So we're
Exhibit B
fine.
is what this refers to. So Exhibit B just has to be correct. Did you have anything else on 68?
My next one is 71.
Okay. I had one on, that was 69, and one on 70 too. On page 70, 9.01, full-time commitment, it says this position is a full-time position unless Exhibit B states otherwise. So again, we have to make sure Exhibit B says it's not
Exhibit B.
full-time.
It doesn't clearly say that to me in Exhibit B.
I don't
That's
see
a
it
good
either.
catch.
Yep.
So we can strike 901, 9.01 completely. Or we can strike,
Doesn't it say anywhere else in this document that what the hours of the position are? Interesting.
we can
I would
just strike, well, we could strike full-time and just have commitment, and we could say the position, or strike that whole first sentence, and say employee is expected to devote professional time necessary to perform the duties of city administrator. And then it goes on to say what those could be.
So I like striking full-time, just having commitment, still having it
Just
under
or
Exhibit
time
B.
commitment, time
And then
commitment.
in Exhibit B, we just have commitment. And we can outline it there.
You guys can talk about it. That's just my suggestion. What do you think?
I'm good with taking out the full-time position portion and changing it to,
You could just do time commitment and leave it at that. What's your next one, Kathy?
71.
Okay, go ahead.
10.04, artificial intelligence. In the first sentence, it says should not input not public data, it should be non-public data.
Not public.
What's that? The number?
10.04,
4.
it's in the first sentence. Not input non-public data, not, again.
Well, that
Dental
means private,
records.
that means private data. Not public means private data, privileged information, personal data.
Well, I changed the second not to a non, N-O-N.
Okay.
Look at that, easy enough. Boom.
Anything else on that page?
Foiled again.
My next one is on 76. Do you have anything before that, Kathy? Or anybody?
Sure you want to ask?
Do you? I mean,
Exhibit A.
now's the time. Yeah, and actually I marked up something on my computer, which is not, I'm not gonna waste time. I think it was just the whole Exhibit B that we had to update, and as long as Exhibit B is correct, I'm good with it.
Base salary, 40,000. Payroll period, city schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and then insurance, zeros, PTO, 0 days per year, carryover 0 days, payout.
And you
0 days.
filled that out already?
Yep. Holidays, federal,
Yep.
blah, 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 severance, 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
60 days resignation notice. Sorry, Alan, no professional development, no cell phone. And then I still have one for, I added one for commitment, if you want to add anything.
Actually, the professional development should be like $500 because, you know, Alan at one point had stated an interest in taking a city clerk class through the league, right?
Already did it.
Well, did you submit for reimbursement?
No.
Well, you need to do that. Seriously.
I think we could,
It was very helpful for me to take a class.
I think
through
we
the
should absolutely pay for Alan to do that.
league. Yeah,
I
At
don't
least
know that-
updates.
I don't know that the
Right.
contract would prevent us from, I think the contract wouldn't prevent us from approving something
We're just not
in
allocating.
addition to the contract.
Okay.
We're just not saying this is guaranteed,
okay, that's fine.
in my view,
I just
so.
don't think we just say,
I-
we don't want an educated employee. That's not,
Well, not too.
Well, you're in luck, you got one.
Mileage, IRS. I mean,
yeah, and then it went on to 70, page 77 again. Routine budgeted purchase. I think that is when we needed your help.
Yeah, we have no idea what that is.
Hankins,
I would just take that whole line out and just let the policy we have apply. Or if you want to say,
so we said,
purchase approval pursuant to city policy
Okay,
or something.
that's good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that. Is it emergency repair okay?
I would also leave that pursuant to city policy, though I
Okay.
do think, like, what
I
happens
feel like
if
it was lower than that.
Which one are we talking about? Emergency repair. services?
Emergency repair, same, pursuant
our
to.
policy is probably
It
less
was like
than that.
3,000.
But if people want to revisit the policy, I mean, I'm a little worried, like, something, you get a sewer main break the night before, like,
Oh, no, I want that
Christmas
fixed
Eve
for
or
sure.
something,
So, yeah.
right? Like, what do you do? And I think the answer is you just authorize it, but anyway,
And-
I would just make that, this one for now, emergency repair service pursuant to city policy, because we have a policy that covers
Yes,
this
we-
already.
okay. Change orders, same, pursuant to city policy then? Let's just do that, because then it would be consistent, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are we good with the rest of that exhibit, or would you like to add anything, anybody? Oh,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
It's too much fun.
And I can tell you, as a practical matter, you know, if I thought I needed permission, I'd come and get it. And
Right.
for, you know, just as a live fire exercise, we've had lake links, and so some of these things I've just put on my credit card, just so that we keep the ball rolling. So an emergency, I can figure out what an emergency is, and so we can revisit those policies. I don't think they necessarily need to be here. You know, if we do have an emergency, it'd be nice if I got the call to be able to call one of you just to say I checked in with one city
Right.
council member, if not the mayor, to say, hey, we have an emergency, can I spend some emergency money? Just to check that box off and have another set of eyes on it, but for the most part, the city just doesn't spend money like that, so I just can't see it being a huge issue.
Oh, I agree.
Nobody
We don't have that kind of
pays,
money to
what's,
spend.
all right, so what's somebody gonna do if there's a real emergency and something gets violated? What's somebody gonna do? Nobody's gonna do anything, we're just gonna say that was a good decision and move
Right.
on with our lives, right?
How
If
long have
buy
you
a
lived
giant,
here,
like,
Ryan?
What's that?
How long have you lived here?
Well,
Right, appointed letter.
I'm kidding.
I
Hey,
mean, if you install a swimming pool on city dime in your backyard, you know, then we might all be coming over there to party as a corrective measure, you know?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
okay, page 79 at the bottom. Again, we want to put in August 12th.
Okay, hold on, we're at the
Oh,
attorney.
sorry. August 12th. Yeah, this is city attorney professional services agreement.
Today's date?
I assume the same term?
Oh, yep.
Which is 3.05.
I'm sorry, what, Kathy?
Same term, is this what we did for the
Yeah,
other one?
what number? Oh, 3.0.
3.05.
Sorry, yep. And that was my last one that I found, page 81.
Compensation matched on this one, so I didn't
Yeah.
have that one.
The rest, I went through and I didn't see anything that was glaring.
I'm scrolling for my red markups, hold on.
So I can't remember where this was, but I think that we make mention of individually, we can't, sorry, I'm back at the admin, we can't direct the administrator contrary to council action or policy. That seems clumsy. I mean, I called you up and I said, Alan, or I wrote you a note, I said, let's get it mowed over by the tennis court, but I can't do that without talking with all of you.
That's not contrary to our policy. I mean,
But what I understand is we as a council have to agree before we give direction to Alan.
yeah, except we have a contract with them to mow. And so if you notice that things aren't good, then you should say something, right? We already approved the contract, and we
Yeah.
already said they're supposed to be mowing.
And that's the distinction. You can't be like, Alan, go get a contract for mowing. We've already made the
But I
decision.
think what Bridget is saying though is she can't say, hey, Alan, can you do me a favor and look over this agreement with me?
Right.
And I think you can, and I think
Right.
Alan can say that's fine. I think what you can't do is say, I'm gonna try to get you fired, Alan, and directing you if you don't do what I want, because Alan might say, oh, I don't wanna do that. I mean, Alan, you might have a council member sometime who wants to just totally overburden the city administrator with stuff. And I think this is basically saying, if they don't take the actions from that council member, they're not at fault and you can't fire them for it, which would be, but I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's an issue anyway, because it takes a 3-2 vote to discipline an administrator, and if it's one council member that's causing a problem, then, it's some of the stuff.
Yeah,
in
and
the-
it's
in the
not
contract,
about-
It's not.
It's not about discipline, it's just,
Well, what force is that clause gonna ever have? I think is
I
what
know
I'm
what you're
saying.
talking about, though, as far as like, in the event there was an unsafe tree or something
Right.
that's fallen, you absolutely
that's exactly
should.
it, right. But then do I do that as an individual citizen?
I think, you have to be able to ask, I don't think it prevents you from asking even as a council member or something. It just prevents you from saying that this is a requirement for him to do.
Right, and I think you could make a request of Alan, and he, as the administrator, can make the decision. Well, is that following council policy or not? And that's what we pay Alan the big bucks for.
And to your point, I think what I heard you thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, by calling me, asking me to have something mowed,
Yeah.
right? Is your concern that you're authorizing me to authorize the expenditure of money as a single individual council member? Is that the
Yes.
concern? That's
Yes.
what I heard.
Yes.
And so I think what I heard the mayor say is, hey, we have a
We have a
contract
contract.
with a group that's their job. So if they need to clean up a spot, I can direct a little,
But if-
micromanage that contract.
Right, but if we didn't have a contract,
Right.
then what?
I would send out our city maintenance person. So
Okay.
we do have a per-hour person that would do those little odd jobs.
Okay,
So now if you used Ryan's example and you said, I want a pool in Ty Schmidt's, right? Do it, or you're in trouble. That goes to Ryan's point. I'm gonna get you fired if you don't put a pool in the park.
yeah.
And so his
No, I'm not
point
talking-
was, well, you couldn't just fire him anyway, right? You'd have to come back.
Okay.
So, but I think I've got enough discretion to be able to pick up some of those little ticky-tacky short chores. And if it was something that needed to get done, and it wasn't one of you on council, and it was a good idea, I would probably do that,
Okay,
right?
All right, then
So if
never
someone
mind.
said a tree fell, or there was a tire in the street, or any number of things that can happen in a city, I would assume that I wouldn't have to come running to you guys to get permission to do those little things.
cool.
I mean, it's a very nice contract, but we just need another policy in Birchwood that says Birchwood shall follow all policies, because,
Including this policy.
including this policy, right?
Okay. I had no other corrections or edits for that. Did anybody else?
The legal one? No.
All right, we're good to go.
Thanks for doing this work, you guys.
Nice job, yeah.
For such a small city, I might have the most comprehensive city attorney contract in the Midwest.
Seriously.
Just trying to protect you, Alan.
must be a reflection of me.
We want to make sure that people understand that their perception of you being in both roles, being a conflict, is not entirely accurate. And so our whole purpose was to have a policy stating that you have two roles and that legally you're allowed to do those two roles and that you know what lane you're in when you're doing them. And we have alternatives if we need outside counsel.
Yep.
Just so it's clear to,
And I appreciate the ability to sort of distill those two. You know, it was not unusual to be the city administrator hiding behind the city administrator anyway, you know, because who do you think city administrators go to figure out what to do? So then it's clear because they're two different people, you know, so now it's like, who do you consult? So it'll feel like kind of doing the same job, but just without someone calling to ask, because I'm asking myself.
So Alan, let me just ask, if a data practices act request comes in, how are you gonna determine, like, for example, there were surveys done of the beaches, and I think those were done through you, of the easements in the beaches, right? Do we treat those surveys that were done as privileged?
No?
We do not treat them, so anybody could come in and do a data practices request and could get a copy of the survey Birchwood did of any of the beaches or.
Yeah, if they exist, I would just call Cornerstone and say, I mean, it's Birchwood's data, that you paid for the data.
And so how will you differentiate between, if a data practices comes in, how will you determine whether that's a work product of your city administrator role or of your attorney role when determining whether to fulfill the request or to deny it as privileged information?
So the only time that would ever come into play if it was my work product as the city attorney.
Or as the city administrator, right? How do you differentiate clearly when a data practices act request comes in?
It would depend on the language of the request. I don't think there's such a thing as a privileged file that I create as the city administrator.
Are you using two different email addresses when you do all of your work?
Well, city admin is what I use for all of the work in here. And then, as you're all familiar with Birchwood Legal, you know, if I ever had to send anything out or anything, communication, if we were in active litigation, that's what I use. Because that was historically what I used as
As
the
long as you're
city
keeping them
attorney
separate, you shouldn't be
email.
able to.
So as you do the work, you're actually keeping a separation, at least that can be later identified, between what falls into lawyer and what falls into admin.
Yeah, I'm trying to do most of that work, at least on the admin side, on the server downstairs. So those things are readily available. So if I'm sick, you know, getting used to putting agendas, when I started doing this, a year ago practically now, I was just doing it from this, right? Because I didn't have any access to downstairs, so I wasn't using any of that. So now it's much more collaborative, and so we're trying to keep all
Okay.
of that city stuff downstairs.
That's actually a really good answer, because I mean, nobody can ask you to divide your brain into like
Right.
different sections.
We can
And
divide
obviously,
computers.
the work overlaps and you connect, but I do think that's an interesting, and thank you for the answer on that. Okay.
I'm trying to make this easy, and if it becomes hard, go get a city clerk. I mean, it's not that big a deal. You know, if I didn't like you guys, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah. Harder than it looks,
yeah,
Alan.
it's a lot harder than it looks.
Well, it's no fun to try to make this harder than it actually is.
I mean,
But I appreciate the effort, and like I said, if I had a problem with it, even though it's a lot, I'd say something, and it's a lot. I'm still not gonna say anything. So,
right.
it's all based on trust, so catch me doing something that I'm not supposed to, and then we'll talk, but I think you guys have worked with me long enough to know that I'm pretty transparent, so, you know, I wouldn't spend your money or do anything without asking you guys, maybe almost to a fault, but.
Except for that swimming pool thing we talked about.
All right.
Busted again.
You know, I've said this so many times, I appreciate this council so much. You're great brains, and we can get work done and with levity, and that's what makes this fun. So, anything else regarding these contracts. Kathy, what's going on over there?
There was a really large spider and it kept on moving. I'm terrified of spiders, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Direct Allen to fix it.
Gonna say, which hat, city attorney
Sorry.
did?
It was black.
Making me
I don't want
nervous.
one of those. I'm sorry.
Let the carpet cleaning take care of all that, but.
All right, could you guys make some motions to approve? Let's do the city administrator contract first, please.
With
With
the
the
changes that we made, I move to approve the city administrator engagement agreement.
Second.
I would just, let's make sure we just say as amended.
It's amended.
As
Second.
amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, Kate.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. The next one is the city attorney agreement. Somehow I've lost my agenda that I was using, so sorry.
So many pages.
Could I have a motion, please, to approve the city attorney agreement?
So move to approve the city attorney engagement agreement as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Thanks, guys.
What else?
Thank you.
Yeah, was there anything else that we missed on the consent agenda that we
No.
pulled out? Okay, so
That
we
was
can
it.
move
We're gonna
on.
bring back the financials, so those two pieces will come back. Mr. Isley, if you would send me the filled-in finals for the minutes, that would be helpful. All right, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah, you're on to announcements.
okay. Would the announcements in the packet, you can read the Washington County Sheriff Report for yourself. The 2050 comp plan, project kickoff call. Okay, so cities are required to put together a comprehensive plan that, for our plans going forward from now until 2050. We, as you may recall, a few months ago, we received a grant from the Met Council. They are going to do the majority of the work, but we do need public engagement to go along with this project. So for our residents, I would like to call out now, if anybody is interested in being on that engagement group, or in that engagement group. I don't have a whole lot of details about it yet, but keep watching the Thursday announcements. We're gonna put a call out with more information if you're interested in working on that. It'll be a small work group. We are also going to be having 3 public open house type things where people can come in also and discuss different issues going forward. So just know that that's starting, and we've had our kickoff call with Met Council this week.
Do you know what the time commitment will be for that for people?
I do not.
Okay.
I'll bet you it'd be a dozen hours or less.
Evenings, days? Any
No
idea?
idea.
Whatever works.
No idea? Okay.
I'm just saying, you're a built-out city. The comp plan is really an update, so we're not reinventing anything, so,
Okay.
you know, it shouldn't be a huge commitment.
Tennis sanitation report you can read for
So just a
yourself.
question about this tennis sanitation. I have no idea if this is good, if it's bad. I mean, I don't, what am I supposed to do
What's
with
the
it?
context?
Right. Like, are we happy that we've got this much trash? Are we sad? Do we need to tell residents quit throwing so much stuff away? I have no idea.
Yes, 4 tons of cardboard good? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
It's
may-
more than
Good for
3.
Amazon.
Well, maybe someday we want to have somebody from tennis sanitation come in and talk to us about
Trash.
how this works. Well, otherwise,
Talk trash.
we get this thing and,
The best conversation would be about your recycling, because that's always a mixed blessing in terms of whether streams can be and are being purchased and actually recycled, so. I can call Greg or Willie from tennis if you want to bring someone in.
well, I'd kind of like to understand what we're looking at and if they think we're doing well or not.
Well, it's statistics, so the good news is you can say, look at how good we're doing.
I know, but it could also be, look how bad we're doing because we're throwing away so much stuff.
It would be nice to know if they keep track of it as far as the ton weightage of trash versus recycling, if we are recycling more than we're throwing away. But
Or what doesn't make it into the actual stream because there's no market for it, and you go to all that work to recycle cardboard, and it goes into the burner anyway.
Yeah.
I just think if we get a report, we should understand how to read it, otherwise we shouldn't bother putting it in the packet.
Residuals are definitely higher than they used to be before we went to the single sort.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be snarky, but as long as you're all here, would you mind terribly? We try not to be, tisk-tisky in our village notes, but it is so irritating to see what gets thrown away in the city's trash can and what passes off as what people think to put in the recycling. So, just a nice reminder telling people, please don't put dog bags in the recycling, because wishful thinking, but they're not recyclable. Things like that. And of course, there's a lot of material that's definitely not generated by the city that ends up in those containers, so I'd rather not have to lock them up if we don't have to, but
Okay.
you don't mind if I put something in?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I think you should get a camera.
Oh, a flock.
Yeah, right at those, trash cans.
I think it's okay
Let's
to
wait
put a
for a
sign on
camera
the,
for 2 more years.
put a sign on the trash cans.
Yeah,
Same.
whatever, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
it'd be nice to just kind of tamp down on that,
Yeah.
absent a flock camera.
Okay. I believe, since I can't find my amended agenda, I believe number 4 was an update on the Connections
Connections.
Committee. Yes. What a great group. First of all, shout out to that committee. They are just an awesome bunch of ladies, great ideas, and so full of energy. Like, it's a great meeting. So they are planning a flannel fest for October 25th. And what I wanted to come to council with tonight is whether you would be okay with having it here in the parking lot, and we would close Birchwood Ave just right here, like right off the driveway here, and then on this side of Birchwood Ave too. So our resident next door here would still have a way to get out, and so would all the residents. That way you would just have to go, not through the parking lot area. There's going to be a DJ and pumpkin carving and a lot of fun things going on, possibly a food truck. So I wanted to come to council and ask if we could block that area, if you're okay with that. And then the second thing they want me to ask you as well. Oh, the rest were legal things that I can talk to not Marcus, Alan about later.
Marcus, you.
Don't ask Marcus, he'll just say yes.
You say curbs and gutters.
But anyway, can I just get a consensus, like, yes, I don't think I need a vote, but are we okay with
Yeah,
that?
I'm okay with that.
It's just gonna be a 2-hour thing on a Sunday afternoon, so.
I am assuming that they were able to find all of the legs for our barriers, but they were missing at the July for some of
Those
them.
are gone forever, Kathy.
I have no idea. This is all things we're gonna have to look into.
Okay. Well, anyway, once you find your barriers, yes.
Okay. I remembered the second thing. So for the music in the park, we have a resolution stating that people can bring beer or wine to the event. Could we, if I bring a resolution to council next month, would you be inclined to pass it to waive that restriction or to allow beer and wine for this event?
You're not
It would
selling
be a
it, right?
BYOB,
Okay.
I would not be selling.
I'd be fine with it.
Sure.
Okay, I'll bring a resolution
What
then.
about whiskey?
Yeah, hard liquor.
I'm not gonna be checking containers. I just,
She will be taking a sip of everyone's container.
yeah. One for you,
On
one for me.
patrol.
That's how we do things. All right, I'll bring that resolution then next month. Those were the only things I had. What was number 4?
That was number 4. Number 5 is the website kickoff.
Okay, Bridget?
Bridget?
Oh, yes, so the website is up and running and live, and hopefully you saw it.
It's
Looks
fantastic,
good.
thank you.
You're very welcome. It was fun to work on. And thanks to Therese and Alan for the work that they've been doing on codes and some of that infrastructure. We've fixed a lot of things that maybe nobody even knew was wrong, but they were wrong. We've gotten very little feedback in terms of bugs. Jennifer has been our biggest bug catcher. But if you,
Till tonight, Kathy.
but if you see anything, please let me know, and then our guy Darren fixes it right away. And also, the only thing that we aren't really happy with is the picture of the town hall. So if somebody's got something that's better, and I know that Alan was taking pictures as well, we'd like to kind of make that look nicer.
Alan has, and Alan's been taking them from every angle and whatnot, but
It's just hard.
it's,
It's a
someone
big
wants
one.
to say they have an ugly baby.
The building.
That's an ugly baby. It's just,
Yeah, it's just hard.
I was hoping some flowers would come in and there'd be a little more color, but it's just tough, so.
Yeah.
We could AI in a bunch of poppies or something, but absent that,
Everybody would be
it
like,
just
where's
is what
that?
it is.
Does it have to be the, I don't know.
Yeah, just get a
Does
picture
it
of the
have to be the
community,
village
the
hall,
lake, like Ty Schmidt.
If you want, I mean, I could get a nice drone picture
People who live
of
here
something that would look better than this.
Well, I assume you want a
Just put a
landscape
Birchwood
of
dog
some
on the
sort.
We don't want, quite frankly, we don't want to keep changing it in and out. We just want something that's recognizable as Birchwood. I really don't care what it is. I just know this doesn't look particularly attractive.
Just Alan's smiling face.
I'm good with whatever you want to put up.
Yeah, so if you guys have got ideas, please send
Okay.
them.
All right? But thank you again.
do
I
one-
know that was a huge time commitment.
No, I learned a lot about the city.
All right, what was the next one?
Next one is Kathy and Ty Schmitz.
Yes. Well, it's really Marcus. But our construction for Ty Schmidt's project is going to kick off in early September, and they should be taking care of weeds and such shortly, so all will be posted when they get going.
Anything else? Announcements?
I just thought I'd remind everyone, since I missed it last month, to remind everyone of Otter, the famous, now published rock star in the paper. I wasn't expecting to see that.
It's in the,
Was in the White Bear Press last month. I forgot to bring it in and embarrass Mr. Hankins with the 15 minutes of fame going fast with Otter. I thought it was pretty cute. It took me a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Otter. So if you didn't see it, you know, there's the first dog of Birchwood. Anyway, I have nothing else that I can think of. Just for the record, and if anyone's watching, Woodchuck was here and they got our list of trees done. And so the collection of all that wood that they cut, as you've seen in little piles, will be gone this week. So a different group comes out and either collects it or chips it and makes it go away. So
It's not totally completed yet.
it's not, I'm saying this week.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
But are
so
all the trees down?
all of the trees that were on that list, yep.
No, there was a second list.
Oh, maybe that one's not. The first 15 or 17 trees are gone from that list. So we just got calls from people wondering about the logs on the side of the road, so I just thought
Alright.
I'd mention it.
All right. Would you be able to follow up with them and make sure they're coming back to take down the rest of the trees?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to address the ones that are down.
Are down, yeah.
They're all ash
Our,
trees.
Yeah.
our maintenance group got to a couple of the trees that were in Ty Schmidt's that needed to be done that were Xed. And so considering that gave us a credit against the first list of trees, I had 3 more taken out at Elm that needed it anyway. I don't know how they didn't make the list, but it just seemed like since they were there and they had the crane truck, they might as well do it, so.
Yeah, that's great. And parks should be billed $2,500 for,
That tree they voted.
well, for a portion of whatever the cost is, because they said they would fund $2,500 for the world's ugliest tree, or not the world's ugliest tree, Birchwood's ugliest tree. So we can take
Pull that in?
25 from that budget and put it in the overall tree budget.
Okay. I didn't hear, that's the first I've heard of that, so.
It was approved in like January. It was or they voted on Valentine's Day. It was a while ago.
Is there anything else? If not, would someone
Oh,
like?
well, just one thing. So if we're getting calls on things like, when are these gonna be removed, et cetera, and if Genevieve is around, have her throw out a Facebook post, so that maybe it saves a few calls into the office. Or when everybody's trained next week, we can put that on the website for announcements. So you aren't having to pick up the phone all the time and explain to people.
Yep, and some of these, she's on limited time, so, you know, it just depends on when some of this information
Sure,
comes in
right.
too.
Yep. Okay,
But yeah, good idea when stuff like that comes up, so.
yeah. All right.
If there is nothing else, could I have a motion, please, to adjourn?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Okay, Bridget and Kathy, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good job.
That spider was huge.
Didn't think you'd hang around.
Look out the window, look out the window.
I think it was.
Everybody, look out the window. All of you people. Look.
Yeah, he is. He's beautiful.
Did you see that buck? Look at the buck. Look at that.